But say only cats catch a cold in the summer. Sees an opportunity to break the silence and make a joke, but she keeps her eyes fixed on her textbook and gives no response. I'd suggested perhaps drawing a tree out of a lie of my own, but with this stony face, I'm hesitant to try that, so... It's a dress rehearsal tomorrow. That must surely hit a sensitive spot. We're holding a full dress rehearsal for a ballet recital tomorrow. However, she again exhibits no response, keeping her eyes on her textbook, with the same bored expression on her face. Even an attack's not going to work. I soon find myself wanting to complain to a president. Fine. I don't care if you're going to act on your own, act like you can't hear me, just listen. The dress rehearsal tomorrow will be in the St. Joseph Theatre. The costumers and crew will be there watching, but it's not the real thing. So you can just cruise it. My amity partner, who's continued to push herself with a frightening intensity, doesn't react at all. If I had chosen my words specifically to get a rise out of her, guess even you know it's best not to ever do it right before a real thing, although Sister Basket will be watching too. She can't give too bad a show. Right. Can't look bad in front of Sister Basket. Yeah. Well, you know, our failures are her failures and all that. I stare at her, wondering why that's caused her to bite, then. Did you just take on a choreography job for Sister Basket's sake? That tells me it was for her sake. That's more tsundere. That tells me that both these are non-answers. That was going to lead her to think that it's for Sister Basket. So I'm going to go that one. Those quiet words of hers have hit me right in my weak spot. It's none of your business. I answer reflexively. Right, of course. That's nothing to do with me. I didn't say that. Chidori? Stop calling by my first name like that. An awkward tension settles between us. When we're back to when it was suggested that a free personality system might be a good idea. I never wanted an amity partner around as much as I do right now. The silence is oppressive. I don't like the atmosphere in here. Huh? I'll stay in Shirahane's room tonight. Bye. Just in giving me time to respond. What the hell? My attempt to speak openly and get to the bottom of whatever is distressing her has only served to widen the rift between us. Being honest is useless. I knew. Should have gone with a more presidential approach. I mutter to myself and stare at a closed door in silence for a while. My gaze went on lights onto Dora's textbook, which must have fallen to the floor when she stormily left her seat. Honestly. I moved my wheelchair over to her desk. She's the one who's supposed to take care of me. My hand still is about to pick it up. Thought she was staring at her textbook all that time, but this is... When I pick it up, Chidori's personal notebook falls open to a dog-eared page I must have been looking at. Oh dear. Erika Yaegaki. Something but I actually quite like with that side of her. Insolent, but it suits her. Loves veal cutlet. Looks cute when she's reading. Tosses and turns in sleep. Foul-mouthed. Birthday was 17th of September. She's a Virgo, although she's not maiden at all apparently. We'll find a way to ask her her blood type. I don't mean on purpose, but a combination of guilt and congenital numbing pain floods my chest and I find my amity partner's secret laid bare to me. I stared once again at the door through which she was disappeared. There's always at least one student like you in a class. Someone who thinks they know everything. It's not school's fault but it's boring. It's your fault but you're boring. I recall a wise saying from a Japanese movie after school. Chidori never returned to her room last night. She didn't appear at breakfast either, so I had no choice but to wheel my way to a cafeteria where I found her sitting with Shirahane. This look on her face now reminds me of that quote from after school. It's an expression of arrogance, but at the same time it's clear that she's pushing forward down a path she believes in, for better or for worse. Always a sense of degree of confusion from her, though with a certain distance from what's happening around her. It's a combination of that lofty attitude of hers and her apparent confusion that really rubs people the wrong way. I miss my chance to speak with her when my day rolls on. The dress rehearsal starts first thing in the afternoon. We're all well aware the real thing will be tomorrow. And this run through is, well, it's a disaster, to the point where I feel like we're only saving grace as we get through it without any injuries. Chidori makes so many mistakes in her technically difficult dance, she has the audience cringing. From time to time, as she's dancing, she's distracted by something to the side of the stage. And each time she messes up. After we finish a run through and wrapped up a perfunctory post-mortem session, I go to my silent empty partner. Come back to our room. She pulls a bitter face as I pat her on the shoulder. This is exactly the kind of dinner I want to avoid. Usually I only get an individual prepared meal at those times. But with the recital coming up tomorrow, the dinner lady has kindly gone out of her way to make me a special veal cutlet. However, I mean, it's not like I expected it to be all smiles and laughter, but all the same. I didn't expect the mood to be so oppressive I'd lose my appetite. You know? Usually things don't seem to go bad after a good night's sleep. My amateur partner sits glumly before me as I slice into her thin meat and take a large bite. It's delicious. Really can't go wrong with veal. Come on. The dinner lady went to all this trouble to prepare something special. Why would I eat it before it gets cold? Joy doesn't respond and just continues to sit there with a knife in one hand and a fork in the other, as still as a statue. The stupid bored look, it definitely reminds me of after school. I thought you liked enough to just jot it down that notebook of yours. It's even better with a lemon. I smile at her, she finally looks me in the eye. You're annoyed. What? Are you sitting there and waiting for your food to get cold? Yeah, I am. There ain't nothing in this world that tastes good cold. She ignores my attempt at a joke and gazes steadily at me, her eyes moist. I'm annoyed that I didn't listen to your warnings and kept recklessly pushing myself. Oh, that. Well, like Yasuo Senpai would say, I thought maybe it was your time of the month. I wondered if those hormones were driving you crazy. Taking another bite of a cutlet, this time drenched with lemon, and savour a blissful taste that spreads across my tongue. She turns her haughty eyes on me and squints, like she's scrutinising the true meaning behind my words, but then... You don't want to talk to me anymore. Gets to her feet. Sit down. But... I won't say it again. She sits back down, put my knife and fork and down my lips with a napkin before speaking again. Not on an empty stomach, I don't. I get irritable. Same goes for everyone. Ever heard of someone being hangry? Anyway, that's what I was saying, we should eat first. Chidori frowns and regards me dubiously, but hesitantly goes ahead and takes a bite of a cutlet. Looks at me like she's starting to mellow slightly. I don't get what you're so annoyed about. It's a normal assumption to make, given you weren't saying a word to me. From where I'm sitting, it looks like you're scared to open up to me, perhaps. Am I right? At first bite of food must have really made her realise just how hungry she really was. She's already taken a second and third at this point. Chidori hesitates and stops eating. We're well past the point where I reject you for it, no matter what you tell me. Even if you have some super weird fetish, I'd still accept you, so talk to me. It's because I'm a lead, isn't it? Hmm? I can't mess up a ballet recital tomorrow because it would make my sister basket look bad. My Amitié partner stares down at her plate like a little girl expecting a scolding, but I can't help but laugh. What's so funny? Oh, you're such a damn idiot. Even now you're still worried about what I think of you. But you said Sister Basket. It's true she's expecting a lot from us, and I do want to live up to that, but this, ordering a special good luck meal, like acting like a total sap. I'm doing all this for you, buddy. You're lying. She mutters quietly as I continue my grin at her. Felt a twinge of guilt, my Amitié partner still doesn't believe me. I'm not lying. Why, I bet you care about me just as much as I care about you, right? Erika looked disaster on Chidori's face and is replaced by one of bewilderment before she finally blushes and glances at the notebook on top of her desk. You looked at it, didn't you? You're the worst. Yeah, I am, but it did make me happy, you know. Anyone feel good knowing that someone likes them. If it looks like a kill, I'd have kicked it just now. But Chidori's gaze that only lasts a moment. The intensity of her gaze soon lessens and she hangs her head. I'll say it again. If you're struggling with something, then tell me. I may not be able to take it off your hands, but at least can share the burden. A tense silence follows, then Chidori lifts her head, revealing a deeply vulnerable expression. It started soon after one of the classmen quit doing ballet. She had to give up because of the injury I caused. At first, I had absolutely no urge to dance again, but then I decided I couldn't selfishly give up on dancing myself after stoling that choice from her. Thought I should go on and would dance enough for both of us. That all sounds good so far. Came back to ballet with more passion than ever before, but as I was training for the next performance I noticed there was something wrong with my vision. Things were distorted. At first I thought I was just sleep deprived, but in people's faces and their bodies they began to appear bigger and smaller to me than they really were. I've heard a bit about the symptoms she's describing. Alice syndrome, huh? Yeah. More properly known as Alice in Wonderland syndrome. It's a quaint name, but it really was a lethal when it came to ballet, where I was out there dancing together with others. It wasn't just people. I couldn't properly determine the size of two objects either. Sometimes they'd appear even more twisted. I thought it was kind of punishment. Back during my case of disappearing bunnies, I'd identified that she had bad eyesight of some sort. Perhaps astigmatism, but I had no idea it was vision so compromised. I can only imagine how hard it's been for her. Unable to dance, I shut myself up in my room. After a while, my parents made me transfer here, thinking it would be good for me to have a change of scenery. I see. I trail off, searching the right words to say. They said I could go home once I recovered. After arriving here, there's no change in my symptoms for a while, but... Are you getting better? Yes. I don't know whether or not it was really a change of scenery, but my symptoms gradually started to abate. And ever since I told you about what happened with my underclassmen, I've seen a big improvement. It's relieved to hear that she's on the mend. However... Hang on a sec. This issue's been getting better recently. When what happened at the rehearsal? She wraps her arms around herself and looks at me imploringly. I started seeing visions of my underclassmen at the side of the stage. It's like Suoh with a mother. You mean like a ghost? No, she's not dead, but... Chidori had vowed to dedicate herself a ballet for this girl's sake. But mental pressure had led her to suffering from Anna syndrome. Thanks to changing environment and opening up to me about a painful past, her symptoms had started to heal, but in their place, she started to see respect of a girl. It's no good, I have no idea why this is happening. It makes sense if, for example, she quit ballet and her guilty conscience was causing her to see underclassmen. But her vision's clearing, she's able to dance again. What she's told me, it sounds like the girls also wish for Chidori to continue dancing, so why? I scratching my messy hair, flummoxed as to why she's experiencing this phenomenon. Ben, you're disgusted, aren't you? Huh? You must be after what I just told you. I looked at my Amitié partner, her head lowered as she stares intently at a fixed spot on the floor. It's as though she's trying to brace herself against some inner pain. And then I chuckle. Because I'm going to make you wait for the next line. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. Join me next time for some more flowers. Bye-bye.